Hello visuals and welcome back to the channel. I'm trying to be so quiet because of what B said. I'm so excited. Hello visuals, welcome back to Visual Guys, a special podcast. Before we get any further, just want to apologise for the Hawkeye episode that comes up later on in the week, because it's just very quick and short. We get it out there because we recorded that and we watched Hawkeye right after going to watch what, Chris?
What?
He never pays attention. In fact, I saw you go on your phone during the film.
Because I didn't reply to a word.
No, you didn't. No, you did not. We've literally not just, but an hour or so ago got in from the very first possible screening of Spiderman.
Of course, the very first.
Well, it is possible for us, isn't
it?
it?
Right, sorry, I mismistaken that. Yes.
Yeah, and then we come and watch Hawkeye. I thought we'll get the Hawkeye episode. I apologise.
Brunch first.
We did actually. The Hawkeye episode is very short. We get that. There's no notes because I only had one viewing.
Just watch Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Just watch it. Just pick it all up. You'll get very excited like we did.
Because we had a mint Kingpin reveal, and it coincided with another reveal. But we'll get to that. We're going to break it all down and start slowly. But it's Spider-Man, No Way Home. Film is done, dusted. I'm going back in a few hours. I'm going back in the morning. There's somebody else at work that says, can I go over the weekend with you sometime, Dan? Just give me your time. I'll be there. Who's that?
No, probably.
Oh, that's Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
Oh, we'll pause. Right, that was interruption number one. There's probably going to be more. But no, right, I've got so many overwhelming thoughts and all that carry on and shenanigans. But do you want to get down and digress to what the things that you loved and takeaways at all sorts and world building? Do you want to ramble on for a sec, Chris?
I enjoyed it all.
I don't just want I enjoy it. I want specifics, pal.
Specifics. I give you specifics. I enjoyed it all.
What was your takeaways?
I felt sorry for...
The heavy spoilers, bear in mind, I will put a non-spoiler review up before this one. This is full of spoilers.
Yeah. I felt sorry for him at the end.
The end was fucking horrible.
Yeah, I felt sorry for him at the end, but I suppose he had his reasons why.
He had to do it, don't get us wrong, he had to. Chris is implying that...
Tom. Spider-Man. Peter.
Yes.
Yes. Sacrificed everybody's memory to forget about him just so he can help save the planet, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When, if you remember from the trailer, Doctor Strange is saying, they're coming through and I can't stop them. Peter says, right, well, if you change the spell so everybody forgets me, then we can save the world. And that's what he does.
That's what
it's a fucking just absolutely heartbreaking moment, which got the tears going again, where he's at Aunt May, big spoiler, Aunt May dies.
Yeah.
He's at Aunt May's grave, and Happy pulls up next to him, and it's the fact that he looks at him and goes, oh, how did you know her? And I'm like, oh, their relationship was something beautiful.
It was a nice relationship they had. They had a father figure to him.
It fucking was, man.
He now no longer knows who he is.
And I said, didn't I? It said when we were doing the trailer breakdowns, one of them's going to die, Aunt May or Happy. And it turns out it was Aunt May in this particular incident. It's fucking heartbreaking. But the film was it delivered on every single fucking level. It was absolutely hilarious. It got really nitty and gritty. It hit you with the nostalgia. More nostalgia for me, I guess, because you didn't really like the old Spideys.
No, I was never really a fan of the older ones, but it was nice. They turned up, people. They turned up.
Yes, the boysies turned up.
So it's nice to see Andrew Garfield and delivering away.
And the way they did it as well, because I knew it was going to happen. I said to you as well, didn't I, that when we did the first trailer breakdown, Doctor Strange says we can get visitors all week. I said one of the visitors could easily be other spiders. I mean, also it could be other characters.
Yeah.
But could and then Ned gets hold of the sling ring and he opens up a portal and there's a spider at the bottom of an alley and you're like, that's not Tom. We know that's the way this shape is and how they're thinking. Each spider has their own mannerisms and the way they move and shit.
Yeah. And
he come through and I just welled up and I was just, this is fucking amazing. And another bit that got us when Andrew Garfield's talking about his what he's lost and he goes, I lost my Gwen, that was my MJ. I was like, oh my, because I don't know if you remember that in It's Amazing Spider-Man 2 when he tries to save Gwen.
It's on the clock tower or something.
Yeah, and he comes down and shoots the web, and the web comes out like a little hand, It tries to grab it, it just gets her, but because she's right next to the finger, she's fell so much, her back just snaps. And it's just fucking, you can see the pain. Andrew Garfield is an amazing actor. He can Hacksaw Ridge in that. He's so fucking good. But then Tobey Maguire steps through and you're like, this is just unbelievably amazing. But it all played, the way that it played out, because it was even hilarious with some of the villain interactions, because the film gets straight into it quite quick. Film literally, if you turn Spider-Man Far From Home off, you can start this immediately.
Yeah, basically it's straight after the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because when J. Jonah Jameson's on the big screen and his name gets revealed by Mysterio, he goes, "Oh, what the?" And then literally it starts off with "What the?" And then that's it. His life is turned right around. We start to see what it means being Spider-Man exposed to the public, and everybody's they're either against him or for him, or the legal shit gets dropped. We get our first massive reveal, which is when I grabbed your knee.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to reveal the reveal.
The reveal that I've not really finished watching yet.
I know, man. I thought you had. I bet you really want to know.
I'm going to watch it now. We've got the reveal, as we kind of assumed. We've got the reveal of Daredevil.
Matt Murdock. Charlie Cox is Matt Murdock.
He is here. He is arrived.
And he is Peter's lawyer.
He's Peter's lawyer.
He gets all of his charges. How did he get his charges dropped again? I don't know. For whatever reason, he was able to get him off quite easily, but Happy still had to deal with some shit. The legal ramifications, because I'm assuming, because I know you could accuse somebody of something, but you still need evidence. Like I could say Chris has murdered him, but I still need that Peter's life is in complete shambles, and you get a good couple of minutes with Matt Murdock, and there's a hilarious moment where a brick gets launched through the window, because there's loads of people saying, "Oh, I'm Team Mysterio."
How does he do that?
And Daredevil sat there looking away from the window and just grabs it, and everyone's like, "How the fuck did this blind guy?" Because obviously they don't know he's Daredevil. No. I'm assuming further down the line, maybe.
I'm sure they'll probably see him later on.
But we've got to remember as well, when we do see Daredevil again, he's not going to have a clue who, he'll know who Spider-Man is, but he has no idea who Peter Parker is.
Well, I don't know if we will, but we might see. For those who don't know, season 4 of Daredevil is happening. So will we see more Spider-Man? I don't know.
There's definitely going to be, because now Kingpin's just been introduced in Hawkeye.
For those who's up to Hawkeye, Kingpin has been announced at the end of episode 5. So obviously that's why we know definitely that they're all on the same timeline. And we could possibly see Kate. Kate might need a lawyer at some point.
Yeah, 100%. So where do we stem from there?
Or Hawkeye himself.
Hawkeye might need a fucking... If anyone needs a lawyer,
they'll
have the choice of too soon, with She-Hulk as well.
Everyone needs a lawyer.
But yeah,
which is confirmed he is in She-Hulk.
Yes, well, again, it makes sense, all the lawyer shenanigans and crack. And again, a lot of these New York heroes interact constantly. Yes. It's mad in the world of Marvel, because DC's somewhat spread out, whereas Marvel, it's all just like, we're all in New York.
We're all in New York.
That's where all the crime is, all in New York.
New York.
Oh, another big thing. Oh, we should do. Well, I've already been. A big thing we should have mentioned is they acknowledged the Liberty statue in Hawkeye as well, the shield. Bastard, should have been.
It was there.
Yeah, that should have been on the Hawkeye one. But after that, we Peter and Aunt May and stuff decide, where do we live? We need to go somewhere else because there's too many people. They end up moving in Happy's house, which again has its own comedic fucking greatness. There's moments where Peter's on the face. What? In my defence, I did say there'd be more interruptions, didn't I?
Yes.
Mum had a window above the bit where she's trying to watch Hawkeye. But yeah, the bit where he's FaceTiming MJ and Happy sat there because he's giving out May's bed and he's in his little, but he is
his mask on.
Yeah, he is the whole conversation. He's like, we get it, no more grounds to be made, you love it, blah blah blah. But the thing that's one of the things that really got us again was the sheer growing relationship between MJ and Peter in this, and that's why it made it more heartbreaking at the end.
Yeah, we see a lot more MJ than we did in the last films.
Yeah. But it's their relationship completely more and more blossoming, trying to plan their future together for only literally to go before step 1. It's way before that now. Yeah. Because at the end he decides sort of not to read a big old speech because it's horrible. Because before the spell happens, he's like, "I'll listen. I'll find a way."
Remember. Yeah. And it's like I think realised he's better off. She's better off. And safer.
Yeah, he's
not knowing who he is.
Well, that's the whole game. That's why Spider-Man doesn't want to expose his identity because he thinks the people that he loves are just going to get hurt. But currently, when the film ends, Nobody in the world knows who Peter Parker is. It's not a case of they don't know Peter Parker. It's nobody knows who he is.
Apart from Venom.
Well, yes, but the spell goes, and I don't know if this. We'll get to the cutscenes in a sec, actually, because it means everybody. Venom still recognizes a spider, but I don't know if it just this universe. That guy. So we've still got. Again, we'll get to the cutscenes in a bit because there's still a lot of cliffhangers. Somewhat involved in that. But then, so Peter goes to the Sanctum Sanctorum. Can he do a spell? Keeps open his mouth. Spell fucks up. And what the spell does, because he fucks up, because Doctor Strange says it's such a sketchy spell, we need to make sure this goes exactly. He says, I want him to remember, I want her to remember. But anybody from all of reality, only Spider-related, who knew who Peter Parker was, has been trying to get dragged into our universe. And only a handful slipped through at first. That being Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman, Lizard. Obviously, the two spiders.
That's it.
Yeah, and it starts off the first interaction. You're only about half an hour or so into the film. Doc Ock's here kicking off. As soon as that fight finishes, Green Goblin's here, and there was quite a few things I was proper nerdy. Fucking taking my hat off, saying, "Look at me, I'm a big smart boy." Was a couple of things that we got right during breakdown of the trailer. I said the nanotech suit might override his claws. The inside out suit, because I remember when I was trying to explain to you, and you were like, "I can't get what you're on about here," and I was like, "It looks like welding, fucking," and it literally is, because he's trying to clean his suit, and you see him go inside out, and you're like, "Yeah, you are good inside out, aren't you?" To get an Electro was so close to coming back and being blue, wasn't he?
He was.
Because he was blue for a while, then it changed. Jamie Foxx was classing this, but he was kind of somewhat the catalyst. Maybe Green Goblin somewhat as well, but he was kind of the catalyst for the. I don't want to call them Sinister Six, but just so we don't have to name them all, the Sinister Six turning and going back, because the mission is get all of these people back. Send them back so they can die at the hands of Spidey, because that's what the plan is.
That was the original plan, but obviously Tom didn't want that.
Because that's the battle between Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Yes.
Peter Parker's he doesn't want to kill if he doesn't have to. He thinks, no, wait, I can make these people better versions of themselves, make them not evil anymore, send them back to their world and give them a chance of surviving. Yes. But people like Electro, he's like, oh, this new power. And again, there's something else. At point, it looks like he has some sort of arc reactor thing. It turns out it's because he physically does steal an arc reactor.
Yes.
And he builds his new electro power off that, and he wants to be. He's like, I like this new power. This is amazing.
Like
dog. Yeah, the scene inside of the flat itself was just fucking Lizard. Oh, not Lizard. Doc Ock and all that walking and shit was fucking. The fight between him and Doc Ock was amazing. Like I said to you at the end of it, when they were fighting on the road, it just literally plays out like a comic book, and that's why I love Spidey, because when you think of comics, ultimately you think of big, flamboyant, over the top, really unrealistic characters and shit.
Yeah.
And it was all playing out like that. And then Green Goblin sweeps in. Green Goblin was quite interesting in this, because you see when he gets all raggedy and stuff. Willem Dafoe. He looks more raggedy and stuff with his hood up and that. That's more of a Green Goblin look. Yeah, have I got a picture of him up here somewhere? Is he up there? It'll be about somewhere. Yeah, where he's more thingy. But he...
Ned, I was surprised we never seen him go down that route, because there was rumours he was.
Well, he kind of... A lot of people in the cinema were laughing. Because, first of all, he made the joke, I'm going to search for see if there's Ned in the other universe. I went, oh, yeah, there is. And at the end, later on, he says, don't worry, I will never turn to a villain and kill you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, everyone was laughing at how funny joke, and I'm thinking in my head, that's fucking happened. Hobgoblin shenanigans. Flash Thompson remakes it, comes back as well. It's quite cool. But yeah, the Green Goblin, everyone else was quite cut and dry. But the Green Goblin initially turns himself into Peter, or Aunt May, wants to help out, wants to do whatever it is they're doing to send the Sinister Six back.
Yes.
But then the Green Goblin side takes back over. He causes the shitstorm. The mate, and as well, one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see in cinema for the next few years is Spider-Man web slinging through the Mirrorverse.
That was mad.
Well, obviously, it was beautiful to see when we saw Doctor Strange, but then to see it again in a much crazier level, a place where Doctor Strange controls.
Yeah.
But Peter Parker...
for Peter just to fucking figure it all out and just fucking trap him in.
Because it's so geometry. And he's like, I know geometry.
I know geometry.
And he's able to trap Doctor Strange in it for, what does he say, 12 hours.
12 hours through the canyons.
Because it's all things looping inside of itself. But it just looked beautiful seeing him web sling through, and Doctor Strange being very patient with Peter, because, I mean, I guess there was a few instances where he probably could have just shut that shit down.
Oh, yes.
But Peter keeps eluding him and diverting the plan because he just really wants to do good. And it was nice seeing the way that they fought. Like when he first gets out of the Sanctorum with the box containing the spell.
The out-of-body experience.
Yeah, and how he can still control his body, but like he's trying to web away. There's a portal there, and then a portal here, and the cloak of levitation comes out and gets round in, which again just reminded me of the What If episode where he wears that.
Yeah,
it was just absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. Then you have a few more little bits in there, some more comedic moments, some more character development, some more love with MJ and Peter building, and it's proper heartbreaking. They're trying to build their future. They can't because schools don't want to let them in because they know Peter and all this shit.
They just want to be regular kids, but yeah, they've got all this shit going on.
Yeah. And again, Peter's still questioning everything. Doctor Strange himself says, "I forget you're just a kid."
Yeah.
And then you get to the big old climax at the end, the battle on the Statue of Liberty, after the spiders have been brought, because it's Ned as well. Remember that he didn't bring them to our planet, but he was the one that I want Peter Parker. He brings them to us, and they bring Peter Parker after the horrible minging death of Aunt May. Because I don't know if you see me, I jumped when the glider hit her because I thought she's been stabbed. But then it was not what's happening. It's like, oh, she just got hit. She's fine. It's okay. Next thing you know, she's dropped. So I'm like, oh, she has been fucking stabbed, and then she dies. The other Peters come and they have their horrible moments. And again, Andrew Garfield realising that when he saves MJ, because you see the bit in the trailer where Peter just misses his hand and thinking that it's Andrew Garfield's smile jumps down, and you can see him sort of well up thinking, oh, my fucking love interest died, but he was so happy that he was able to save her, and I was like, this is just fucking beautiful. Thought Tobey Maguire was dead at the end when the Green Goblin gets him and stabs him. These again, they beat the Sinister Six. Well, a couple of them. It's Lizards, Sandman. He was not necessarily being bad. He just doesn't really want control of the box out there. He's
supposed to go home.
Yeah. They get beaten, but then Green Goblin comes and fucks things up. Doctor Strange goes to sort the spell out. There's a pumpkin bomb inside of there. All fucks up. The battle's ultimately won and done because Doc Ock helps out. He stops Goblin. He stops everybody else. They manage to start the spell again, but the only way to truly succeed is if Peter says, "Listen, wipe everyone's memory," knowing that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yes.
And when Doctor Strange is trying to do it before the spell's thingied, you see all the lights and stuff come through, and you think initially when you watch the trailer, you think, "Oh, it's multiverse shit. It's all thing. It's everybody." But to me, I'm pretty sure it's just all Spider-Man villains. Again, I'll have a better look when I go watch it again and soon. I think I saw the outline for Kraven the Hunter, for Rhino and whatnot, but it was just all spider shit. So that means that was just the spider, the Sony. Basically, there's your Disney, and it was Sony coming.
Influenced by Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more things you want to tag on quickly? Because I'm going to ramble in for a while.
You basically fucking said it all.
Mate, I can remember that film for fucking. I watched it with such fucking detail. Like I said, I kept welling up and getting so overwhelmingly happy, and it was so much fun. It was so enjoyable. The fights, the cinematography, the way they choreographed certain stuff.
The storyline of it was brilliant.
Oh, it was literally from start to end. Everything about it was just absolutely fantastic. And I know it's hard to take Spider things from me because I'm so biased, but it is a 10 out of 10. It's the best MCU film to date, and it's going to be so hard for any.
It's going to be a big movie for quite a while, I think.
Yeah, well, like I said to you when we sat down, didn't I? Well, I said it a few weeks back. This will be the biggest film of all time, and we're sat there, and I'm like thinking, look how many people are already here just to watch Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's
at 9 in the morning.
Yeah, and then the best thing about it is. As well in the film, they mention all the memes. Like I don't know, you're not really on board as much with memes, but there's all the memes of like Norman Osborn going, "I'm somewhat of a scientist," and Tobey Maguire, "My back." These are all big, massive memes that aren't really up to do with Spider-Man, just memes in general.
Yeah. And
they said the lines again, which was quite funny.
I thought the opening shot with all the TikTok shit was quite interesting. Putting all the TikTokers into the beginning.
That was just a trailer for TikTok.
How you know?
Oh, right, I thought you meant as it was part of there was an advert for TikTok in the film, though. One of the things.
Yeah, one of the billboards.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They had all the fans on TikTok doing, like, dressing up as Doctor Strange or whatever, and that was quite dope.
That was quite cool.
I just love how, as soon as this film starts, it doesn't give you a couple of seconds to build up.
No,
it's like,
it just gets you straight into
Peter's on the run.
Yeah, so you can literally watch the last film and then watch this film.
I also like how he's trying to run and get away from everybody, but you can tell he's a good guy because even when they're coming from like the the sewer shafts. He's still putting all boxes and trip hazards and shit. And you're like, come on, he's not a fucking bad guy. He's doing shit like that.
He's stopping you from falling into the fucking gutter.
Yeah, and Tom Holland does such a great job at showing the vulnerability and the quite often scared.
Oh, I felt so sorry
himself.
for him when he was fucking beating up the Goblin.
Oh,
the look on his face, bless him.
It's fucking horrible.
He took the world away from him.
Yeah, and then he made the ultimate sacrifice. And then what I'm gonna get to now, my favorite shot and bit of the film entirely, which you can probably guess is the ending. The very, very end. He moves to. It's still in New York because we see him swinging.
Yep.
There's Rogers the musical, more Hawkeye similarities and shit. But he's made a new costume. It's the funk of that Funko Pop there. It's snapped. I need to glue it. You see how it was all shiny and stuff.
Yeah, it's more glowy.
This exact costume, and the way that it was glistening off the snow and that, and he come down and landed. It just looks like, because it obviously it's animated because he's swinging through the air, but it looked like it was Spider-Verse animation. It just looked fucking beautiful. And obviously, you know, when the film's about to end, because the Spider-Man film ends usually end with the swinging about and shit. Yeah. And oh my god, it looked amazing. It's like, right, I'm Peter Parker. No one knows who I am. Not a single soul. Nah. Tony Stark was still alive. He doesn't know who I am.
Nobody knows.
I'm just have to go out there and be Spider-Man and try and rebuild. I'm sure further down the line, hopefully Doctor Strange can find a way to change it a little bit. Can you give her a memory back? I don't know how they're going to do it.
I don't know if we will, to be fair, because like I say, this is his last film. I'll say that. This is his last appearance in the MCU film for a while.
Yeah, we'll get to that now. Then we'll get to the cutscenes in the future now. Then
yeah, because most of his films that follow on now are going to be part of Sony,
which is fucked, right? Because when the film ends, again, this isn't the exact words to use, but we'll use it so it's easy to grasp in your head. When the film ends, everything's a success. The multiverse isn't broken. There's no fractures. Sony is trapped off, and everybody from Sony shit is gone back.
Yes.
But Spider-Man, Tom Holland, is still in the MCU.
Yes.
So from how he bridges into there now is anybody's guess.
Yes.
I mean,
like we've seen it in the first trailer. The first trailer? Yeah, the first trailer. Tom Holland sitting in Mexico at the bar. So
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. So hit this straight. He does this. He does that.
He's asking about this world having loads of heroes. There was a billionaire that flying around in a tin suit, and there was a purple guy that likes an alien that likes stones. I can tell you now, aliens don't like stones; they like eating brains. And Venom's like, "We're drunk, Eddie." But no, you carry on.
And obviously, he got shimmied away into this Sony world.
He was in the MCU for what, 30 seconds? But,
yeah.
I mean, in the film wise, I think it's a week, but it's. You got like, what, 30 seconds at the end of Venom?
Yeah.
And about a couple of seconds here.
But a bit of symbiote stayed.
Yes.
Yes.
So that means in the MCU, there is still a bit of symbiote. As we know, it only takes a little bit of symbiote because of how Carnage is made to make a whole thingy. So, I mean, and as well, when symbiotes get off-cut from Venom, it's not necessarily always Venom. We can have Toxin that way, but even though we've got Toxin coming in.
Can a bit of symbiote go into Spider-Man and then I think, oh, you should be here, you should be in that universe, and can he blip?
No, Venom hasn't got the power just to interdimensional universal travel. He can go out to space, but he can't just go to another universe. So something has to happen to. But again, we're saying it's all cut and dried, done, dusted. At the minute, it looks like it is. I'm assuming if he's to fuck off over there, whatever happens with the effects of Multiverse of Madness. Because, I don't know, I can't speak for you, Ian, but I was wrong in thinking that what we saw coming, I can't stop them coming, was everything Marvel.
Yeah.
But it was only Sony.
We kind of had that thought that it was kind of help kick it all off.
Yeah, that was start the multiverse, but no, it was just Sony, and that bridge got shut down. That's all done, dusted, cut and dry, we can move on. So we can only assume now whatever Scarlet does, because at the end, not only do you get the Venom cutscene where he's at the bar, like Chris just explained, you get a trailer for Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is just speaking to Scarlet One, and what do you know about the multiverse? Something's obviously happened, and we know now that all these Sony people are part of this canon multiverse.
Yeah.
So something must happen there for a bridge to be gapped for
Spider-Man
to
go over
there.
That's the only other, unless something happens and it reopens.
Yeah, and as well, actually, before I carry on, I want to quickly point out Jamie Foxx is speaking to his Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and I like the fact that he's questioning him. You're from Queens, blah blah blah. And he goes, "Oh man, I thought you were black." And he's like, "It's all right. There's a multiverse. I bet there's a black Spider-Man out there somewhere." And I was thinking, he's right there on my fucking leg, son. Miles Morales. I should have went back there. I forgot what I was saying now. This bit of Venom. You're saying you're saying there is definitely a Venom versus Spider-Man, or at least a film with them two. There is no reason saying that this part of Venom can't just make itself back up again, and it will contain Eddie himself. It's not really ever happened before, because you still need the body and the symbiote. Because at the minute it's just symbiote. It needs a host.
Is there anybody in the Sony world that can take him back?
Not at the...
What I'm thinking, now you've mentioned that, what I'm thinking is that the symbiote grows, realises that Spider-Man's there still. He goes
because
after Spider-Man.
Sorry to interrupt, this particular symbiote recognises a spider.
Yeah, goes after Spider-Man, and then Tom Hardy's symbiote version figures that he's missing a part of himself and something's not right. So is there anyone that's on the Sony side that can shimmy him back over to this side, MCU side?
The only thing
vice versa, shimmy Spider-Man over there.
The only thing I can think of is Into the Spider-Verse crack. Madam Web, or the web of, because literally in the in Marvel, everything that connects everything is by a massive web.
Multiverse of Madness. Again, there's a rumor that Tom Holland is going to be playing in that. So could this be his opening shot to get him into the Sony?
It could be. Yeah, you could be right. Like I said, the only ones that we can really know of in the Sony crack is just opening up the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, he could get trapped in Sonyverse instead of the...
Yeah, well, originally I thought this film would end with Peter saying, "Listen, the only way we can save the day is if I go back with them."
Yeah.
And I thought maybe he gets trapped in that pocket of thingy, which would be the Sony crack.
Which would have made more sense.
Yeah, but... No, obviously they've done it the better way, because now they can still keep all these bridges open to make films with them characters, and these characters come over to there a bit. And because I'm pretty sure we saw somewhere, did we not, that Sony said you can have Venom for a few films, or you can do your own Venom shenanigans. Didn't we talk about that? I feel like we did.
Venom's got more control on what he can do.
Yeah, the Sony said you can. They had Disney. You can have.
So's Hulk and so's Wolverine characters now.
Yeah, so it definitely, which is good, because I didn't kind of want the questions answered straight away. I mean, I do, but I don't, because Multiverse of Madness is going to be a part 1 phase, wasn't it?
Yes.
We still need to know what happened with the Sacred Timeline at the end of Loki, what Sylvie's done.
I don't think we're going to season 2 till middle towards the end of next year.
Surely this will be explained partly as well in Quantumania, because we know Khan's going to be a main villain in it.
Yes.
And at the end, there's a Khan statue.
We will see him in Ant-Man.
And as well, isn't Loki rumoured to be in Multiverse of Madness?
Yes. And so's Kate Bishop.
So Multiverse of Madness could be where we're thinking of Spider-Man being the true kickoff point. It might not have been the true kickoff point. It might have just been the first little taster. But the real wake-up call for it all is the man that can really manipulate the multiverse. Well, not manipulate, but tap into it, is Doctor Strange.
It could be Doctor C, could be
and Scarlet.
All together.
Yeah, and which is fucking scary, because if you remember as well, if Doctor Strange... Oh, this is a thought. We need to bring this up now. The second cutscene is a Doctor Strange trailer.
Yes.
And in that, it's revealed that the biggest threat to the multiverse and whatnot is Doctor Strange.
Yes.
And we have a good Doctor Strange, just kind of like the what if just showed us, and the bad version of Doctor Strange. So maybe the bad version of Doctor Strange...
Maybe he opens the portal.
Yeah.
Maybe he causes chaos.
Yeah. So it could be him that fucks everything up and whatnot.
But we've also still got Wanda, who wants to find her kids.
Yeah, and who has not located, but she has found her kids because she heard the mom.
Yeah.
So we know somewhere, which makes it even more fucked up for them, because in her reality, her kids ceased to exist because they didn't really exist in the first place.
No.
So she's tapped into somewhere in the multiverse where her kids do exist.
Yes.
And another thing which is fucked up, because now as it stands, right, the Sony into MCU is shut, the bridge is shut.
Yes.
Morbius isn't out yet.
No.
but we know Morbius is connected to Venom, which is fine. Same universe, Sony.
Which is connected to Spider-Man.
Sam Raimi, Spider-Man, that's fine because that's Sony.
Yeah.
But our Vulture from the MCU.
Yeah, he's connected to MJ's family. Yeah.
No, it's not MJ's family. It's a different date he's on with. He's the dad of somebody that he takes to thingy Homecoming.
Yeah, sorry.
But no, you are right. But again, it could be a case of just that they have their own Michael Keaton over there, which looks like our Michael Keaton over here. But that's got a lot to explain.
I still think there's more to Ned.
Yeah, like I said, Ned. Yeah, not this Ned. I can't get my head around this Ned being evil. But a Ned out there somewhere. Because again, they referenced it, and he said, "I want to Google myself, and I would never turn to a villain. We know he's going to be the Hobgoblin. Well, we know in the comics he turns to be the Hobgoblin. But again, if Sony sat doing all this crazy shit, there could be a Hobgoblin film. But at the minute, as it stands, Venom is still very much the centre of what me and you deemed, which I think other people have called it, to be fair, but the Venomverse. He's still very much the centre of it with all these other shit. Because now that these heroes have gone, these villains have gone back powerless and normal and shit.
Yeah,
not
we
evil.
shouldn't really see these anymore.
We shouldn't, but there's no saying that when they go back, they might turn back to their evil ways, or like Sandman, because he's going back powerless, so he shouldn't really be able to come back and do anything. Elektra's going back powerless.
Well, they all are really.
Doc Ock's still got his arms, but
he's kind of good now.
Yeah, well, originally, like I said, they explained it right. He is initially good. It's just a chip in the back of him, fucks, which makes the arms control him.
Yeah. So technically, we shouldn't really see them anymore. So the question is, who is the Sinister Six? Because we still really technically haven't had the Sinister Six.
Yeah, technically, we haven't had a Sinister Six.
Yeah.
It's still messy at the minute. I mean, there is a lot more doors being closed. We know the end of Spider-Man. Literally, at the end of Spider-Man, everything is fine. Check and balance. But with the lingering after effects of Loki, that's still there to play. The lingering after effects of WandaVision, that's there still to play. And then, at the minute, they're the only two really open things. Like, okay, how are you going to fuck shit up now?
Yeah, and then obviously you got fucking Doctor Strange.
Because, I mean, don't get us wrong, I know there's still cliffhangers yet to come for Hawkeye, but it's not over world ramifications.
No, we're nowhere near close to Madness World.
Yes, that's just on the street thingy. End of Falcon Winter Soldier, that's just on the street ramifications. But yeah, so we need to see Doctor Strange is where it's going to really, really take effect.
Oh yeah.
And to be honest, mate, one that again we're only overlooking it because we've got no really more information on it. But Quantum Mania is going to be a massive film. If it's got MODOK, Khan, and whoever people you've said is going to be in it, the Quantum Realm still yet to truly. I know we've explored it in terms of time travel to be what else is, because we know that Thingy's mum come back from the Quantum Realm. What else is there? That's still got to fuck shit up. Khan the Conqueror, they're literally the king of time travel and shit. What's ever happened with Loki? So they're the things that are now yet to
I
fuck shit up.
think we're going to see more. I think once we watch once we've watched Doctor Strange, I think we're going to get a trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp after that. In Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Do you know what's quite cool?
It's the only reason. There's no reason why it won't.
Do you know what's quite cool with this Spider-Man title? Right, and Spider-Man is made from Marvel. He's a Marvel character. They sold him to Sony when they went bankrupt to film The Air, to show him on films and that. Then when they got them back, they called it Homecoming.
Yes.
Because he's back home. Then it was Far From Home.
Yeah.
Now this way, a lot of Sony, you can act as if it's his false home. It's his fake home because that's where his rights are.
Yeah.
But there's no way back home for him, meaning there's no way back for his false home.
No.
That's quite cool. Yeah. But yeah, we still have a lot of lingering question marks, which is good because we need the MCU to keep lasting a few bit longer. We don't want it to just stop dead. But
no, but it kind of still left us in a big fucking loophole of what's going on.
It left us in a massive loophole purely because we thought this film was going to lead us into, not answers, but more questions, but questions that we could at least follow. Whereas now this has ended and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It mustn't happen through.
Yeah, it must all happen completely through how we thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, it must all happen through Doctor Strange and all that shit.
Yeah, I was thinking Doctor Strange is the key. This was just a fucking pebble in a pond.
Yeah.
This is the fucking boulder.
This was massive in terms of affecting the Sony crack, whereas Doctor Strange, by the looks of it, would be massive in terms of affecting. If we're looking at, because you started saying, oh, maybe X-Men at the end of this, which initially until you watch it, you think, oh, it could be a good shot.
Yeah, you think so.
But it could be the likes of X-Men and whatnot at the end of Strange.
Possibly.
Oh, they're always peeling off, mate. Won't worry.
Possibly, but fuck knows. Just a lot of unquestioned, unanswered things. You know?
Yeah, but at least you finished Spider-Man. Heartbreaking because no one knows him, but amazing because it just looks beautiful and that suit is made himself and just a normal everyday suit, not an AI help, not a Tony Stark suit.
It's just made by his own little hands.
The classic Spider-Man. Which again, at the minute, he's all on his own because he's got no one to turn to. There's no Steve. There's no Iron Man. He can't turn to Bruce or anybody. He can't turn to Doctor Strange.
And you can't go to anyone.
See, that makes sense as well. At the end of this way, saying, "Oh, we're not going to have a film for in a while because there's nothing for him to do. He's not."
Yeah. He doesn't exist to anybody's eyes.
No, Spider-Man exists.
Yeah, Spider-Man does.
But he's. I mean, it's an unhappy ending because no one knows who he is, but it's a happy ending in terms of there's no mess for him to clean up.
No.
So obviously he can come help out wherever he needs to, but yeah, have we covered everything? Most things there? I don't know. Have we?
I think
we missed.
I think we have.
There's obviously a lot more Easter eggs and whatnot we can maybe point out. I'm sure there's things I've missed.
Which I'm sure you'll probably mention at some point for the next 4 showings you're going to see.
Yes. I will spend the rest of my life watching it. Which, to be honest, if you strip it out of the MCU one, it's just a fucking outstanding film. It's the biggest finisher of somebody's trilogy, if that makes sense. So you had, like, for example, the Captain America trilogy, massive finisher because it had Civil War. This felt way bigger. Iron Man trilogy, yeah, felt relatively big. This was way bigger. Even Thor Ragnarok was huge and it set up Thanos coming. This felt way bigger. Whatever's going to happen in the future multiverse, because we know somewhere, we don't exactly know where, we know somewhere it's going to affect X-Men and Fantastic Fours and Deadpools and all that shit.
What we know is that it shut down Sony.
Yeah.
But it still leaves a big question. How the fuck does Spider-Man, Tom Hardy, end up in the Venomverse?
Well, yeah, like
that's the biggest question I'm taking away from this.
And if you think about it as well, the spell fucked up because anybody who knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man got sucked into our world. The only reason then why Venom got sucked over to here is because Venom knew Spider-Man.
Yes.
Maybe not this one, but we know that this Venom we've got has interacted with a spider somewhere. So that means that there's another spider. That it physically means that in Venom's world, there has been a spider that this symbiote has interacted with.
Yes.
Because if he didn't know a spider, he wouldn't have been sucked in.
He wouldn't be here. Yes.
No, and he wouldn't be back again.
And we like we said, and we know that we're gonna get a Spider-Man Venom crossover.
Yeah, but like I said, it's minging though because to this point he had no idea who Tom Holland's Spider-Man was.
No.
He just knew the suit. So who's the spider that symbiote recognizes?
Well, this is it. We don't know. There isn't another Spider-Man in the Sony, so it kind of still opens that. It's kind of still left a big door open.
Yeah.
How the fuck does Spider-Man end up in Venomverse when all the doors are closed?
Yep. And how does that Venom recognize a spider when, as far as we're aware, in that part of the Sony universe, all there is a Morbius in 2 Venom films.
Yes.
So what spider does he know?
I don't know.
And what does that symbiote do now that it's been there? To be fair, we've just said there's not for the Spider-Man to do for an next solo film. There's a bit of symbiote left.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
No, but the symbiote knows it's still there.
True.
There's a starting point of your story already.
Yeah, but if he can't go into the Spider-Verse, the Sonyverse, though.
No, it doesn't matter. It's left in the MCU. Tom Holland's in the MCU, and a bit of Venom's in the MCU.
Yes, but we're not going to see Tom Holland in the MCU for a while. We're going to be seeing him in Sony. That's why I'm confused on how it finished. Well, not saying it finished, but how the trailer. It's like, how does Tom Holland go from the MCU to Sony if the bridge has now been separated.
Yeah.
And we know, like I said, we are going to get a lot more Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, in Sony.
It must just be down to Doctor Strange. It must be. Because he's literally dabbling in the multiverse.
It has to be. He's the only one that can do it. Because I don't think Wanda is powerful enough to do that.
Well, but we know she is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme, even though it's quite funny, we never mentioned the Sorcerer Supreme at the minute is Wong, because Doctor Strange was blipped.
Yes.
But she's tapped into the multiverse already to speak to her kids.
She has. So does that mean her kids are in Sony then?
Well, her kids technically you would say were more Fox because Wanda classically is an X-Men, a mutant.
So I suppose that's when she can bring X-Men into it.
I mean, X-Men and that, if they're on the way, they have to be introduced here. What else we're overlooking as well, we know that there's something dark going on with Black Knight and Blade because the end of Eternals. Fuck me, I didn't think we were going to speak about Eternals, but now...
It's all confusing. There's a lot of doors.
Which is good though, because...
There's a lot of doors.
Because this is going to be 20 times bigger than the Infinity Saga. The Infinity Saga was massive.
Yes.
But that was just one sort of straight line. Yeah. Whereas this is a gobbledygook.
Oh, this is fucking a tree of fucking... Yeah, it's just a tree.
This is just a tree. I was giving that metaphor ages ago, didn't I? Yeah. There's your branch, with another branch, with another branch, another branch.
This is just a fucking tree.
But no, yeah, my Spider-Man amazing.
We've had the trunk, and now we've got the fucking branches.
Yeah,
that's it now.
That's it. That's the perfect metaphor. And the leaves will just be some nice little finishing.
Just little fucking spin-offs here and there, just dropping out every so often. There's a lot of shit going on, man.
It's fucking amazing. I'm getting rang again. But right. Visuals, Spider-Man No Way Home, massive 10 out of 10.
Definitely a 10 out of 10.
You're going to see the other Spiders return. You're going to see other villains.
You will not be disappointed.
You're going to see Doctor. You're going to see.
You're going to be probably on the same fence as us with a lot more questions and answers.
Mm-hmm.
But we will get there eventually.
And I mean,
our next main film is Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Which is out in March. And
before that, the TV show of Miss Marvel's. But Thor Love and Thunder is out before Doctor Strange, is it not? Or is it after?
After.
It's out after?
Yeah. So I don't think Thor's out till the end of the year.
End of the year?
Yeah.
So Doctor Strange is the first film we get?
Yeah.
But until then we've got Morbius. Morbius is out before that, is it not?
Yeah, like I said, we've got one more episode of Hawkeye, which I don't think is going to be much involved in this.
No.
And then... What did you say, mate?
Miss Marvel, Morbius.
Yes, Morbius.
Hello. Oh, well, we're done in 2 seconds.
Yes, Morbius will be next. So we might see something in Morbius. Something might happen in Morbius. We don't know.
We'll see.
So is Morbius out?
A few months, isn't it? Just start next year, I'm sure it is.
Something like that. Is it February? February.
Yeah, something like that. We'll see what happens. But visuals, 10 out of 10. Beautiful. Best MCU film ever.
I think I kind of possibly agree with you on that one.
There we go. Chris agrees, and he's not even a big spider guy.
I'm not.
Visuals, thank you for listening. We'll be more theorising down the road, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back. Once Dan's had his other 4 viewings, he'll be back with his little notes. And right, I didn't pick up this last time, but I did it this time.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with another discussion, no doubt.
Probably, mate. Visuals, thank you for listening. We're always keeping you, and you've got to keep on web singing on.
As always, we'll be back.